Hello YouTubers, my name is X Factor and welcome back to some Battlefield 4 Dragon's Teeth gameplay, playing on the map Propaganda, but this time it's on Conquest. For those of you who didn't catch it, I broke down everything you need to know about the new game mode called Chain Link, including the variable ticket bleed system and how exactly that works and what it means to your team. If you didn't see that, check out the link below. That was also on this map, Propaganda, but there are some differences. While playing Chain Link on Propaganda, it's very linear. It's also 100% infantry only. Playing Propaganda on the Conquest flavor, it's much more open and there's armor for both sides. There's a couple ATVs at various points, including the uncaps. There's 2 tanks per side, and there's a couple AMRAPs, I believe, that are scattered across the map. But this is still a very infantry-friendly map. There's all kinds of fibbics, like I'm going to hide behind right now, buildings that are destructible, steel containers everywhere, but when you're wedged in between 2 people with 2 very extreme angles, I'm simply trying to cap the flag, gonna die, and have the option to spawn back. If I had died before I capped it, I'd have had to spawn back on a squad mate, or start from the uncap, which is never fun. And here we have myself working one of the back caps as I miss my shot and light up the oil barrel, which is not very good if I had been any closer to that. As you can see, there's tons of cover once you get up on the cap radius, and this is one of the flags that has a larger cap radius. But I'm not going to be able to solo cap it. There's 2 or 3 guys still running around, so I want to fight my way into the flag, put up the walls of the castle, then fight my way out as I get some help, and there's another sniper who gets the best of me. Here we have myself trying to clear the area, then give my squad mate a quick revive as I'm moving from flag to flag. There's all kinds of back alleys, and all these walls are destructible. So if somebody's hiding behind those and you've got a noob tube, aka pro pipe, or an RPG, you can simply level the wall. If they're hiding too close to it, it's either going to kill them or they're going to take quite a bit of damage. So here you see the main highway to my left. This is the free lane at which the 2 tanks per team can easily travel. It's very tough for them to get through these back cuts and back alleys. So the tanks are going to be limited to very specific spots unless they want to get stuck or easily back rage. And right now I'm using my tank to provide me a little cover. I was going to jump in there until I noticed that there were 2 friendly players. And you see the battle pickup. Wally 2.0 is coming to save the day. He could do a lot of damage to infantry, and he could do very, very, very minor damage to armor. So you might not want to jump in on an armor fight unless they're already engaged. And he wouldn't be enough to solo Wally 2.0 as he does a front flip in excitement. It might take him his whole mag, but more than likely Wally 2.0 will have enough time to get repositioned. I actually spawned back at this flag trying to reverse this cap. Because again, when playing Conquest, it's all about having the majority of the flags. And oh look, a tank just rolls up. You could run a fair mix of medics, support, and engineers on this map, again, because the tanks have limited access points. They can get to every flag. They can run the whole highway, but then they have the train that they have to compete against if they want to cross over to the D and the B flag. And it will one-shot the tank. It's not like Goldman Railway, where the train will slowly push the tanks, never killing it. This will one-bang your tank in a hurry. It'll one-bang anything. So you have to be very careful because this is a stagnant train that never leaves. It's that track right there where the train is constantly running through. There are some very open lanes when trying to go from one side of the map to the other, but once you get over to the side of the map that I was on, there's quite a bit of cover, and you don't have to worry about all these optics and snipers that are going to be all over the place, trying to figure out where I want to go next. Conquest is all about having the majority of the flags. If you possess the majority of the flags, you establish a negative ticket bleed on the enemy team. No matter how well the enemy team is doing at that given moment, whether they're reviving everybody, nobody's spawning in, they're losing tickets. It's different than Chain Link. In Chain Link, the video I linked down below, it's all about how many caps you have, are they linked together, and the variable ticket bleed system. The more you have linked together, the higher the ticket bleed is on the enemy team. And then, of course, trying not to get your links interrupted and being able to interrupt theirs. Maybe they have 3 flags in a row and they've established a 2 ticket bleed on you per tick, but then you take away one of those, then they all of a sudden have 0 links, and you are rocking the bleed on them. But that's 100% infantry-centric, a very linear map. And as you can tell, this is 12v12. Can you imagine what 16v16 will look like on this map? Or 32v32 Zerg style. People are going to be everywhere. There's a couple of these cap points which bring me back to that Bad Company 2-ish feel. Specifically, this flag right here. All these buildings are completely destroyable. They started off as a lot of cover here, but as the round progresses, these two flag caps on this side of the map absolutely get destroyed. Of course, the tanks can fit back here, but they got to be very good with their maneuvering, because the last thing you want to do is get surprised by somebody in the building, get a perfect side shot with an RPG, or the dreaded ass shot, which hits for at least 55 damage. And of course, the tanks have a bigger back end, so it's not simply something that they can swing around their turret and shoot you in the face, because they can't rotate the bottom of their tank. If you get one in, quick switch to reload, you can get a second one in, as long as you have a little bit of infantry support. It's going to be very important that the tanks play with the infantry, just like it is on any battlefield map. The armor is only as strong as the infantry is only as strong as the armor, as we're trying to push this B flag when shit is hitting the fan. Again, there's cover everywhere, but it's completely destructible. That concrete wall, if I get too close and a straw or an RPG comes flying in, it more than likely can kill me or do a lot of damage, including blowing up my beloved health pack, which I need when going against all these bad guys, trying to track them down. I got off burn, but I'm trying not to let them leak through to D. Sometimes it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. And what Battlefield Dragon's Teeth footage would be complete without a little Juan Dieg action as I one-shot Hunter in the head. Get back on this flag that I fought the other side of the Fibbix before. Again, these are very infantry-friendly cap points. Sure, the tank can roll up on this point, but there's multiple angles that I can play this from just like I did before. But there's an issue. I get stuck right here. The developers in the Q&A session covered this specific flag, talking about mobility passes and things they do to figure out placements. Either that little container is too close or not far enough away. Either I should have to vault over it, but not fight for it, as I'm trying to change angles. And that's the problem when you try to solo cap or cap with one or two teammates and a bunch of enemies spawn on the flag. They spawn around you, not on top of you. So sometimes changing angle is the best thing you could do. Bait them to you. Get your health back up before you re-peek. But if you're winning the burn, why would you ever want to peek and expose yourself to maybe more than one bad guy? It's all about that right there. The flag status going up in your favor. If you've got at least one more person alive, you are gaining or taking away that flag from the enemy. But the second it's even, it's dead. He who peeks first loses the burn. That's kind of the old saying. So if you see that flag going up in your favor or going down in your favor, why peek? Play super defensive. And I can see that there's at least two guys there because we started losing the flag status again. And just waiting out the second guy to peek me. And just like that, I might have been lucky enough to get the two close squad mates off of that flag and win back that burn. Propaganda for Conquest seems like a very fun map. Again, we only play 12v12 as I switch over to the AK-5C and RPG because I had to help Jack Frags, a couple of guys, clean up a couple tanks that kept hitting our back caps. The tanks can go anywhere on this map, but it's very easy for them to work that main highway area, and there's absolute nasty booby traps that can fall into if they come to this side of the map with all the different buildings and elevations. One or two RPGs in the right spot, and they're done. I'm asking Jack right next to me, who's sitting there, hey, is that guy dead? I don't know. I didn't see an assist. Jack's like, yeah, I got him. So that was kind of a wasted RPG, but probably would have gotten him through that splash damage. I can't wait to play this on 64v64. 2 tanks per team, ATVs everywhere, side rages and back rages everywhere. You talk about epic flanks, this is one of the map that's going to be able to do it for you. A very friendly infantry map, even though there are 2 pieces of armor per team, plus some of the transport vehicles. And as quick as I leave, they're challenging the flag yet again. Somebody got away and got back onto the burn. It's all about figuring out what the exact burn radius is per flag, knowing where you have to hunt and fish to get those guys off that, and then just survive on the outside. As you can see, all these buildings are destructible, so don't plan on staying in the same spot very long. And the other side of the map is extremely infantry fun. Again, with that Bad Company 2-ish feel, with all those buildings being completely destructible. And if 2 tanks roll in, nothing is going to be standing for long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Conquest gameplay on Propaganda, and don't forget to check out the map and how to play Chain Link, which breaks down all the little nuances of that game mode, including the variable ticket bleed system. As always, YouTubers, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys have any questions or comments, Don't forget to leave those down below. I can't wait to play some 64-man Zerg style on this map. We'll see you.